So what does it mean to you? We're here at the Celeste Hotel. You're about to be inducted into the UCF Hall of Fame. How big of an honor is this?
It is such a big honor. UCF was such an important part of my life and where I'm at now, and I owe everything to being here, and I can't tell you how much it means to be a part of this class.
What was it like when you got the call?
It was very emotional, for sure. I wasn't expecting it, and I've wanted this for a really long time because I knew the Hall of Fame existed, and so to get it and know I was going to be in this class with these other great people, like, it just meant the world to me.
What did you think when you were a rower? Like, it was a newer program at the time. This isn't a program that's been around for 40 years or anything. Just what were those early years like? And did you ever think you'd be in the position that you are right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we roughed it a little bit more. I would say back in the day, you know, rowing was new. We didn't have all the facilities. I mean, UCF was even completely different. I mean, there's so many more facilities now than there were then. Old Wayne Dench still existed. Yeah. And, you know, we used to erg and work out over at Old Wayne Dench, and then we worked out like on the courts between Academic Village and Old Wayne Dench. So everything at UCF has grown so much, but rowing, like, I don't have to explain it to as many people now. Like, it's definitely more popular in the U.S. Just as a general sport, but it's still, like, you know, it wasn't very known back then. So definitely when you had to tell people, you know, I was on the rowing team, like, you had to really explain what the sport was back then.
You talk about how UCF has changed so much. UCF's headed to the Big 12 next year. Could you ever imagine the growth from every aspect, every angle that you've seen over the years?
Yeah, it's been awesome, actually. I think when I was here, we were in the Atlantic Sun, like the conference before Conference USA. So I remember it was a big deal when we got to Conference USA, and then when we got, you know, to the American Athletic Conference, and that was really awesome. But I remember talking to one of the assistant athletic directors that was at UCF back in the late 2000s, and I was telling him that I thought we could be, you know, the next USC, like Southern California. Like, why couldn't we be a state school that is just as big as they are, like, and be Central Florida? So I think it could always be here, and President Hitt did so much for this school that athletics was able to, like, go in the shadow of that as well, and it's just been an honor to be here, for sure.
Leah Charles opened the door for track and field athletes last year. You opened the door for the rowing program this year. What does it feel like to be the first rower to get it, and what do you think this means for future programs that maybe have not had an athlete get in here going forward?
Yeah, it's a huge honor, honestly, and that's something as a rower I think you kind of just get accustomed to doing, is sort of fighting for your sport a bit, and then women in general, right, like fighting for, you know, to be seen in sport and to be taken as seriously as male sports. So I'm just very honored again to be representing so many women in the sport, because, you know, it's across the country too, right? Like, there's probably not as many female rowers in their Hall of Fames as there are, you know, other sports. So I'm glad to be giving that little bit of recognition that I can for the sport of rowing.
When you look, people not understand about rowing and all of the work that goes into it as a student athlete.
Yeah, so I would equate it mostly to, like, swimming or another, like, endurance type of sport. You put in so much training for a very small race. You know, you don't have, like, in basketball, you know, like, we have, you know, you have games all the time during the week, but in rowing you might have, you know, 7 competitions the entire spring season, and you train like 365 days a year pretty much for that. And the other thing I would say is it's a huge leg sport. That's like a difference that I think I guess I would emphasize, is that it's like jumping 2,000 times, you know, in a row at a practice, or 200 times in a race. But everybody thinks it's usually like an arm sport that you're pulling yourself, but it's really like you're pushing with your legs every single stroke. So it's, yeah, it takes a lot of endurance and cardio fitness to be able to do it well. A lot of hours.
What are some of your favorite memories from your time at UCF? Like, when you got the call, I'm sure you're thinking even more and more about your time as a student athlete. What kind of comes to mind?
My teammates more than anything. I even, like, get choked up, like, talking about them right now. Like, my stroke seat, one of my peer partners, Caitlin Pauls, we lived together for 4 years, and we had such a fun career together, and I was able to already see some of my old teammates since I've been here, and we had lunch together at Lazy Moon, which was really fun, and I just think of them a lot. And I also think the moment that came to mind, honestly, was several moments from the 2007 season, but when we beat the University of Virginia to really launch us into that top 10 and be ranked number 9 in the country. Beating Virginia that day, I still remember the look on my head coach's face, because she was in a launch following us down. Like, you could tell she was trying to hold in the smile, like, against the other coach that was there, and that memory to me stands out so much, because that was a game changer in our program for sure.
Last one.
Can you what do you have to say about the rest of your fellow nominees? You have, you're of course part of a class that has 3 women in the 50th anniversary of Title IX, along with 2 great football players, and Joe Burnett and Latavius Murray. Just give us your thoughts on the rest of the inductees that come in.
Yeah, I am so honored to be part of such a diverse group that's going into the Hall of Fame this year. It means so much to me, honestly. And Coach Gooch and Joe Burnett, we were all at UCF at the same time. Coach Gooch, I know, is still here, but to then have some younger guys that are coming in as well, and we can all like bond over the years that we were at UCF together. I just think it's, very, very, I'm very appreciative for it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you
Appreciate
guys
it. Good
very
job.
much. I appreciate it.